Hello, my name is Bernard Trottier, Member of Parliament for Etobicoke Lakeshore, and welcome to In the Hot Seat, the video companion to the Lakeshore Link, my e-newsletter that goes out to constituents every couple of weeks. It's your opportunity to have questions answered that you have, and I'm glad to do this for my constituents. So the first question, it's fairly timely. There's a question from Cynthia from the Kingsway who's asking, why is your government raising tariffs on just about everything? And so that's a message that's been conveyed in the media, and it's actually not true. We're not raising tariffs on just about everything. There's a specific example of tariffs, but before getting into that, let me talk about the history of tariffs over the last 20 or 30 years. You know, we've had some significant reductions in tariffs through the Free Trade Agreement, which was signed in 1988 with the United States, as you know. And since then, we've been negotiating free trade agreements with a number of different countries. Of course, the Free Trade Agreement was expanded to include Mexico. And since then, our government has been aggressively signing free trade agreements which reduce tariffs in both directions, both for Canadian exports into those countries as well as imports from various countries. In 1974, there was something put in place called the General Preferential Tariff, which was viewed as a development effort for the least developed countries to allow them to import or to export products to Canada at a very low tariff rate, a very preferential tariff rate. Included in those 1974 countries were countries like China and Brazil and India and South Korea and a whole lot of other countries. The reality is, since 1974, a lot of those countries have developed quite a lot, to the point where you wouldn't call them a least developed country. So in the recent budget, that general preferential tariff was changed so that countries like China and India and South Korea and Brazil no longer get the general preferential treatment. Tariff treatment, and they would have to have some kind of trade arrangement with Canada to get those lower tariffs to be able to export into Canada. So that's what's changed. The numbers, since 2006, we've reduced tariffs by about $590 million a year, and that's both through trade arrangements and also just reducing tariffs on manufacturing inputs in particular. Most recently, just as part of the March budget, we've also agreed to eliminate tariffs on baby clothes and sporting goods, and that'll reduce tariffs by about $76 million a year. The change to the general preferential tariff will raise tariffs by about $300 million a year. So there's some puts and takes, but when it comes to the development policy of the general preferential tariff, it was time to change that. It hadn't been updated since 1974. It's just the right thing to do, and this will actually enhance some Canadian manufacturing. And also encourage some of those countries to look to a free trade agreement with Canada. We were basically giving away the store on that front before. So that's a great question. Thank you for sending that. This next question is more of a general question. It has to do with political advertising and some pushback on some of the TV advertising that the Conservative Party has been putting forth. Just to kind of inform Canadians, if you will, about the new leader of the Liberal Party, Justin Trudeau. So all I can say is that the NDP and the Liberals have also had their own TV ad campaigns. There's no imminent election, not till 2015, and in a free, fair, and democratic society, we're all allowed to say what we want, as long as it's within the bounds of truth and fair comment. And certainly all those ads are. What we're trying to point out specifically, I think, with the Justin Trudeau ads is that he's had a variety of experiences before getting into politics, but we just don't think he has the right judgment and experience to be a Prime Minister. Ultimately, it'll be up to Canadians to make that decision for themselves. We're providing information that sometimes people don't get from the regular media, who've been somewhat gentle, shall I say, with the new leader, and so we're getting that message across. And again, ultimately, those other parties, they can have their own kinds of ads. It's in a vibrant democracy with free speech, that's the expectation, is that all those messages can be sent out to people. And ultimately, people will make that decision based on the best information that they have. So we'll continue to advertise. In terms of my own local advertising, I like to talk more about the positive things that we've done as a government and also what we will be doing, and making sure these are relevant for the people of Etobicoke Lakeshore. So once again, thank you for your time, and I look forward to talking to you again.